here. It's Thursday evening, 7:30 p.m. Central European Time. Welcome to our weekly stream. Tonight we are moving on with the E major Prelude and Fugue from Book 2 of Well-Tempered Clavier Johann Sebastian Bach, and also discuss some unexpected situations which happened to us during the public performances, and how we deal with it. So I say hello. I hope that you all are safe and well. Hi Marcos. Hi Jamin. Hi Daniel. Hello Frank, Alexis, Antonio. Hi everyone. Great to see you all here. Hi Evelyn. Hi Luis. Hi Gunther. Hi Royal Purple and Maria. Somehow the idea of talking about these unexpected issues came into my mind after the last stream, where I had several moments which were not really expected by me. Of course, also the one with the flying or falling score, which immediately reminded me personally on my childhood, my first experience, which I will share immediately after I have welcomed Topol. Hello, Trainway and Sons. Hi, Makiko and Annelies. Hello, Jerome. Hi, Rolf. So the my first TV performance, which has been, I think it was around 1997 or something. I was playing some chamber music with an ensemble of 10 violinists, which was very nice. We were playing one Tchaikovsky piece. And hi Jeff, hi Roberto, hi Yochi. We were playing a Tchaikovsky piece, and that was my first appearance in the television. I was, of course, using the score, and the teacher, of course, said you might need a page turner, because this is a kind of, it was a short piece, and I somehow thought, no, I don't need any page turner. I will manage. I don't need anybody. I don't know why I thought that. I don't need anybody sitting next to me on stage. However, well, of course, certainly there was also a kind of microphone standing quite close to the keyboard. And what happened? Of course, by turning the page with my left hand, I touched this microphone, whatever it was, and the score flew away. Thanks God, at that moment the camera was not focused on myself, so that was not so visible for everybody, but of course for my teacher, for my parents, and for myself, that was kind of, well, that was not the most pleasant moment for me, to be honest. So since then, I know that every time I play chamber music, I am absolutely happy to have someone who is turning the pages for me, a page turner, because first of all, it's just much more comfortable, that you can concentrate on music. You don't have to interrupt one of your hands in order to turn the page, and just basically this gives you a completely different feeling, that you concentrate on music and don't think, like, in a circus, well, what am I doing now? No. So that was my first experience, which I remember very, very well until now. And of course, I was so excited to have your comments. Thank you so much for sharing them in a very honest and open way. And many of them are indeed also connected with the falling scores, or flying scores. Valentina was saying the flying score happened to me too. I did a large smile to my audience, collected the pages, and started again. This sounds like a really charming, very, very nice solution. Jose was saying that something similar happened to him also several years ago, and he was presenting the children's choir, and in the middle of the recital, changing the page, the book skipped more than one page and followed the harmony for a few seconds until he found the correct page. So, of course, these moments they're memorable, so you never forget them in a way. But I think that's also something positive is about that it just belongs to our human beings, so we sometimes do mistakes, and this is okay. This is first of all, it means that probably next time we will do it differently, so that will not happen again. But even these kind of things happen, it's not the end of the world, absolutely not. It's just one episode which helps to collect this experience in order to be better prepared for the next time. Another story, well, unexpected thing which happened, which came also to my mind because I was somehow a little bit searching in my, not searching in my memory, but it came just somehow automatically. What happened as I was, again, during my school time, we had a concert of several pupils in a concert hall, and of course it was a big number of pupils performing, so the program was always reduced because otherwise the concert would be so long and huge. So I was actually, originally I was preparing two pieces from the seasons by Tchaikovsky, the May and the December. But somehow a week before the concert, I was told, no, there is no time for two pieces, so you play only one. So it was finally the May. And then I go to the concert hall before the concert starts, and right before my performance, actually before I have to go on stage. So, and I hear the lady who is announcing the program, which it's in Russia, it's very, even until now, there are some. There is always an announcement of the program and of the soloist orchestra of people who participate at the concert. So I was standing already ready to walk on stage, and the lady was announcing, yes, Juliana Avdeeva playing two pieces from the seasons. I walk on stage, and you might remember from my earlier stories that I was, from the very beginning, when I had the chance to play on stage, I was so excited about that, and I didn't want to leave the stage. So of course, as I heard that I can play two pieces, I finished the first one, and then I thought, okay, it has been announced, and I play the second one as well. Well, what I did, but of course afterwards, I think the teachers and the parents of other kids were not so happy because finally I played two pieces instead of one. However, well, this it just happens like this. Well, basically, of course, to be honest, also since then I'm always very careful about reading the program, double checking several times whether the program is the same which I think it should be, because of course somehow the imagination that in the program is something else is written comparing to what I have prepared. Well, I don't know, somehow it doesn't feel so right. So there I'm also very, very careful. I see Jeff is saying these Russian concert announcements can be very long. Indeed, that's absolutely true. So sometimes, yeah, it takes some, maybe it's a kind of also warming up the audience. I don't know, but this is it has a very long tradition. Well, I have also heard. I was very happy to read some experiences of yours. For instance, Martin was saying that once he was performing in a recital where the right pedal did not function in the right way, so the pedal came down immediately by putting the foot on it. So I had to make an inversion pedal by raising my forefoot. Wow, this is of course kind of challenging, I assume. Also, to adjust that the movement has to be in the opposite direction than usual pedaling. Wow, this sounds really unexpected. Yes, then of course Hazel was saying that she had two plastic chairs stacked on top of another instead of a piano stool, and the floor was polished. And as her performance progressed, she's saying, I could feel the chairs gradually slipping further and further away from the piano. Wow, I can imagine this feeling. I had a similar situation once playing in a theater where the stage was not quite straight and the piano brakes were not in the completely right position. So in any loud place, the piano was literally moving a little bit further away from me, but that was possible to fix after I have finished one piece. So yes, also the brakes on the piano. It's also a very important thing to double check before starting the concerts, because somehow rolling piano, well, can be a little bit challenging, especially during a live performance. Um, Martian is asking, how do you avoid memory lapse when playing long pieces? Well, I think basically memory lapse can happen to anyone. I think it also depends, of course, on the condition, how you feel at this particular day. But I think what helps a lot to get along better with that is, of course, somehow once I think the for me, I'm just sharing my personal thought about this. It is very helpful to really to concentrate on the musical message I would like to share with the people, because the people are in the hall or they are listening to a piece not because they expect some real, maybe some do, but still the music is not, it's not only about the technical perfection. The idea, the music is the emotional language, the message which we as a performer transfer to the listeners. So of course the preparation of the piece is essential, because the better you know the piece, the more, let's say, confident you will feel also on stage. So and I think if you are really very clear about your emotion, about your story which you want to tell in the piece you perform, it makes it all a little bit easier, because you are not concentrated then on some particular. Of course, you have to sometimes you have to concentrate on a particular passage or a jump or something like this, but this is not the priority. This is not the first thing to what is crucial in the life in a live performance, I think. And somehow for me it helps also before going on stage, just to somehow to it sounds like to focus to focus on myself, to go a little bit, to listen, uh, yeah, to concentrate in a way. So it's there are many ways to achieve it. But basically it is about your personal concentration, that at the moment when you are on stage, and it doesn't matter if it's exam, concert, competition, whatever, still when you share music with other people, that the absolute priority is this excitement which you share. The idea is that you share music with other people. I think this is my personal feeling, and then you don't be scared to make to do something wrong. That's fine. But this message, this excitement, this passion, this is essential in the music. And I also like very much the comment from Sabine, who said, what I learned most is that I'm a human being and perfection doesn't exist for anybody. We all must accept it and be prepared. Otherwise, I see that trying to be perfect in my piano performing can be very stressful. It is more important to enjoy the music and to flow with it. Annelise is saying, if you get too nervous about the notes, you might be more prone to a memory. Right, this is correct, because this emotion, this feeling, this concentration on the musical message helps also to relax, because then you are concentrated on the right thing. You are not concentrated on how to move your fingers, because this work we all do before we go on stage. And on stage, I'm sorry to say this, it's too late to think about how how we move our fingers. That is the work which we do before we go on stage. But once we are there, it's all only about the music which we share. And that's my I'm absolutely convinced that it does also doesn't matter if you play an exam or competition. You have people, if you have teachers or professors, or if you have the jury members, or you have the audiences. People listen to the music, they feel music. So it's the first they will be attracted by is the musical message. And uh, I think I wish that we all can always indeed somehow find this peace, inner concentration, inner power. It's a combination of power and peace. That when you go on stage, you share it, and you do not, that we all do not think about some other issues which happen around. Well, of course, to be honest, one of the most dramatic moments which I have experienced on stage was during the final round of the Chopin competition in 2010, as suddenly the light turned off in the E minor concerto by Frédéric Chopin. And of course, you can imagine that on stage the light is anyways always very strong. So once it was not the entire light was off, but the stage light was off. So it meant that for me, I couldn't, after this very bright light, it was for a while, it was really dark. And this happened several times during my performance at the final round of the Chopin competition. And to be honest, to say that that was distracting is, yeah, that's, it was really, how should that was indeed one of the most dramatic moments which I have experienced on stage, because of course it was very difficult to not to think about that, just to because of course I couldn't expect when it will happen, if it will happen again, but this basic concentration to keep it, that was really challenging. But nevertheless, I am very happy that I was not interrupted by the jury during this performance. And yes, because otherwise I should have started the final round one more time, and I think one time is enough. So this was for me really one of the most um, dramatic, very special moments which I will never forget. Well, Alexis, I'm glad if it makes the impression that it didn't disturb me, because of course, to be honest, my knees were really literally shaking, literally, because it was really very exciting moment. But yeah, that happens. That happens, and it's better if these kind of things do not happen, and especially not in the under these circumstances like it was. But anyway, this is something what we have to um, or you have to deal. Oh, native is saying, can't imagine you shaking. Oh, well, if it's a, I take it as a compliment, but sometimes it's well, that time was very special. Mark is saying, did Maestro Vid help you? Of course, that was my great luck. Was of course that the orchestra and Maestro Vid knew the E minor concerto so well, because of course for the orchestra it was also very disturbing, but as they all knew the piece so well, they kept playing, and of course I could feel this amazing energy they were giving me, and also in a way supporting me in this situation. And so it was really very, very great, amazing help from them, because it is yeah, indeed a very unique and um, special situation. Well, I hope that this kind of thing with the light will not happen again, but you never know. Um, Jeff is saying you had a mobile phone go off just before you started to play. That's right. That's correct. But I think I understand, of course, that for especially these kind of noises like some mobile phone, like digital noise, or basically I heard also some stories about the rain that was very wonderful. Francois was sharing in stories. He was playing Mozart Sonata 333, and the rain fall on the roof of the concert hall, so it almost covered the music. And he was wondering whether he could play louder, but then he thought it was a part of the magic of the unplanned in live performance and kept going. Absolutely truth. I think it somehow it is indeed this is the charm of the live performance. This is indeed um, you that's what makes it so special. Well, talking about nature, talking about nature, um, I'm going with a great pleasure since many years to the festival La Roque d'Anteron in France, in Provence, which I adore this park. It's absolutely amazing, amazing place. And however, some years ago I was playing a recital there outside, and you know that they have lots of in this park. They have lots of grasshoppers, and they're making it. They're quite loud, and this is a kind of this is the natural accompaniment of every concert there. So it's so for me it's very charming, but sometimes they're indeed very loud. So anyway, I was playing. I think that was a Prokofiev sonata I was playing, and suddenly I felt something moving in my hair. And I thought, oh my God, what that could be? And that was a kind of tricky. I think it was the beginning of the first movement of I think Prokofiev second sonata. And I thought, what should I do? And somehow without interrupting, I made a kind of movement like this, and then I saw that indeed a grasshopper or a locust jumped in the piano. And I thought, oh, well, still have quite many pages of music to do. Probably she will make some, or it will make some noise over there, but it didn't. It kept absolutely quiet until the very last note of the concert. And after the concert, I went to the piano tuner Denis, which is a great friend of mine with also with amazing sense of humor, and I said, please check the piano whether you have whether this grasshopper maybe it died, not that you have a corpse in your piano inside of it. Next morning, he said, no problem, all fine. It jumped very happily out of the piano before he moved it from to the piano storage, and was very happy and started again making a. So that is also a kind of life experience, and well, I think there are so many moments, and of course some are more dramatic. I think that of course being at the theater probably or opera, and also what Marek was giving a comment about the opera dramatic experiences, that the stairs. The stair were off, for instance, and the people were just falling down. But I wish that there was so little these kind of dramatic experiences, life experiences as possible. But there are also some funny ones, like Louis about the cat during his performance of Chopin B minor sonata, which was making meow, and somehow, well, that's I think that can be also very inspiring and also very relaxing, to be honest, because then you really realize it's life around you, that people cough sometimes, people move, and you are surrounded by people and surrounded by nature, in the case of open air concerts, or like La Roque d'Anteron, or the rain, or I think it has a certain charm because for me it means that also the music belongs to this world around us. It's not a separate kind of, kind of sophisticated world. It is a part of us, and it will always depend and be affected by many things happening. But I think it is indeed, for a performer, this is really crucial that we're sensitive. Of course, we take everything, we receive everything what comes around us. But as long as we are really absolutely sure and passionate about what we're doing, about the musical message we're sharing, I think this can be also a great inspiration and help. So, oh, Marek is saying, I saw elephants listening to the piano put in the reservation. Yes, there is a wonderful, some videos of playing piano in front of elephants, which is also kind of inspiring, I think. Yes, so this is, I think, also for the artists, for the performers, we're also human beings. And of course, we do our best every time. Every time we go on stage, we really give all we have. But of course, also we are human beings, and we have, sometimes we do mistakes, sometimes we fail, sometimes we are not in the best condition, physical condition. Sometimes we have circumstances in our lives which affect our soul, our state of mind, but nevertheless, we always give all what we have. Our soul. As long as this happens, I'm sure that many people will always forgive and accept any mistake or any imperfection. This is how I also personally feel when I go to the concerts or when I listen to performances. We are all human beings, and this makes us so unique, so wonderful, so special. And live music is a part of us, a part of our a part of ourselves. So don't just be who you are. It's not easy. Roberto is saying it. No, it's not. But that's how we are, and we have to. I think we have to find a way to live with it, and this is an important part. Sabine is asking about the tips to keep the concentration during the concert. Well, I think it is indeed the basic. I understand you that you mean as a performer. I assume. I think that the concentration, especially during for the longer pieces, for bigger pieces, it's also the result of the preparation. Which means how you practice. That you also, of course, even if you play only for yourself, that you have. Yes, I see. I think it is. A question how you practice, that you practice some parts of this long piece, then you, of course, even if you play it for yourself, you play it several times in the entire length, but I think still the most relevant thing is that you really have a clear idea which part of the piece you play, how you would like to play every part of the piece, that you have a dynamic, of course, first of all, the entire story for the piece. Then you have some details like dynamic concept of the piece. And then you put this all together. But of course, I think it is, also for me, it is very helpful before bringing longer, basically every piece on stage. It is important to play it several times for yourself, for your friends, maybe to record yourself on the iPhone or on anything, so that you have a feeling, a kind of concert feeling. I play the piece from the beginning till the end, because this also helps to recognize where the most difficult parts for the brain are, so the brain will be prepared. yes, so that was just some thoughts on the unexpected things which happen or can happen on stage. Um, I'm very, indeed, very. I appreciate your stories, your experiences, which you have shared, and I just would like to encourage you to, yeah, to deal with it and to accept that we all are just the way we are, and yeah. Now I would like to say just a few words about the wonderful Chopin Nocturne in E flat major, Opus 9, number 2, as a preparation for our birthday party. Well, why I'm so, why this piece, why this nocturne is so special for me is this nocturne in E flat major is indeed the first Chopin piece I have ever heard in my life. At least that's what I remember, and that was the a recording by Joseph Hoffmann of this nocturne, E flat major nocturne. It is indeed very interesting that this piece is one of the most popular Chopin pieces ever, and there are many transcriptions. I think even during Chopin's life, there were also some transcriptions for violin or also for other instruments. This piece is, of course, um, it was composed, this nocturne was composed probably in 1830, 31, so Chopin was around 20, 21 years old, and he was also very much inspired by the opera. And by the way, I see that Marek um, is talking about Theater Wielki, about the great theater, and of course Chopin was also regularly visiting it and listening to some operas. And Bellini he admired, and basically the Italian bel canto. So this nocturne is probably one of the most exciting examples of early Chopin singing style, singing on the piano. Well, later on he was called a poet of piano. I had to take a little some tea. So this nocturne is indeed very. It's quite simple. Well, it's well, because it belongs also to the earlier period of Chopin's life, but it is this melody which Chopin composes here, and the entire mood of it is somehow very special. And yeah, I mean it's I just play the beginning to explain what I mean with special. It says actually it says andante, which happens actually quite often in Chopin's music. So it's not too slow, and somehow we have this wonderful accompaniment. So maybe it's a boat on a river, with some moonshine, something like this, and then the singer, which is singing a beautiful melody, which is varied every time a little bit with some differences. Actually, the interesting thing about this particular nocturne is that there are many penciled details which Chopin later on added to the score of his pupils, because this nocturne was also very often played by the pupils. And finally we have very often in the second so-called version with the later authentic variants, which means that these are only original Chopin um, options. Like you see, we have many little notes. So he's penciling them into the score of his pupil. But the original one is, I think it is very, I, the charming about the second version, or basically about this osseous, that you can depending on your mood, that you can every time add something, I mean, use something from those options, and you don't have to play every time the same thing, but yeah, depending, you can be a kind of, can improvise in this piece. There's, I just want to share one wonderful quote from sister of Frederick Chopin, Isabella, which she mentioned in a letter to Frederick Chopin. She said, "You write that you expect I play the second nocturno quite well, so I play it every day with great delight. What does it matter that I play every little note if I do so without the soul with which you created it?" And I think this is actually the small notes in Chopin. Basically, this is something very special, because it's very often, it's not just ornaments. They have this singing quality and play a really important role in the development of the uh, of the of the piece. So this is the E flat major nocturne by Frederick Chopin for you now. flat major nocturne by Frédéric Chopin, Opus 9, number 2. My first piece I have heard by Frédéric Chopin in my life, which I very, very much admire. Yes, so now we are moving to the, already to the E major Prelude and Fugue by Bach, which is another very interesting set, very unusual set, because well, the prelude. What's happening? Well, I have, thanks God, I can sing on the piano, because I don't have to sing with my voice, because then this would not work right now. Well, however, the prelude is a very interesting piece, because it is in the E major we have, it's a very pastoral mood which we have here. It's very quiet. It is and this movement of the 16th notes is very, somehow it's never stops. It never stops. It's never like a river, which always have a clear direction, and it's very polyphonic. So in the very beginning we have already 3 voices. Now we have another voice playing the. So it's full of imitations, full of taking over the kind of dialogue between the voices, and they never stop. They always have a very clear direction. There is this prelude is composed in 2. Well, it consists of 2 clear parts, again, also with a repeat. We have a repeat. Both parts have to be repeated. This one, the first one, and then also, of course, the second half should be also repeated, and it remains always in this kind of sunny, nature-like, for me, mood. There is one element somehow which makes this print also very special. It comes, it appears 2 times, so we have maybe again a cello playing this wonderful articulation. The right hand is having this. Polyphony of kind of, again, dialogue between the voices, and there are some real dissonances there. One somehow very, very bright, very shiny prelude in a way, and the fugue is probably one of the few fugues by Bach which reminds so much on the maybe Palestrina, some kind of absolute a cappella choir, also in a very joyful, but in a very modest and quiet way. And the subject of this fugue is in 4, and the subject is like this. It's written, we have very long notes, Oh, here is a very actually kind of unique notification here for a very long full note, and this maybe it's a kind of procession, and the choir is singing, because it has a clear step. For me, I procession probably. It's a really movement of a group of people, but with a very modest, joyful way. And this subject is appearing in different, sometimes also different rhythmical verb options. There is also a diminished form where we have it just in just in half, so smaller than the original note value. So it is a very, yeah, because of this absolute a cappella style, this choir, it's interesting how Bach achieves this feeling on the piano. So the E major Prelude and Fugue by Johann Sebastian Bach, for you now. Suggested E major Prelude and Fugue from Book 2 by Johann Sebastian Bach. Very bright one with the, but you know, with more, I would somehow, for me, I see it more like a morning sun. So it's not very strong yet, but with a great um, yeah, it's shiny, but it's not so like the sun of the midday. It's the morning um, sunshine. Well, this is again one another example of amazing create. You know, this contrapuntal uh, um, moment in the fugue. It's because the subject is so easy actually, and what Bach makes out of it is again something absolutely unique and wonderful. So it was a great pleasure to have you all here, to have the conversation, very open conversation exchange about the unexpected things in life, and of course to talk about the E major prelude and fugue. So please subscribe my channel if you like our weekly sessions, and take good care of yourself. Stay safe, stay well, keep the positive spirit, and we're all human beings, and that's the way we are. Thank you so much. Take care and see you next Thursday. Bye bye.